So this is my shed to cabin build part 3. I'm in the Northwoods, my Northwoods part of Wisconsin, central Wisconsin actually, and this is a continuing video series of a cabin that was given to me and me turning it into a small livable space. Where I left off last time was I had the cabin moved in, leveled, I got a new roof on it, and then I needed to replace the two uneven, unlevel front doors with something more livable for the design that I was attempting to accomplish. And that would include a door. I went with the insulated steel door, 36 inch, just in case I did want to get something large into the cabin, and a window. Window is a small salesman sample window. And as you can see here, this is November. I was able to get the front door on, front window in, and everything relatively buttoned up. Then life got in the way for a little while, and snow began to fly, and I finally made it back to my little shed cabin in the woods in January. So I started a fire and came up here and started working on it again. Let's see where we're at. So I made it up to my shed finally. It's October, no, it's January 11th. Got a little fire going. Gotta stay warm. I have a few things to put in the shed. I'm going to insulate the floor and lay some 1/2 inch plywood over that, and then have to do some work on the wood stove. I need to put a damper in it. I need to cut off some of the pipe because it is going to be 1.5 inches taller, but the cutting won't happen today. I didn't bring that along with me. So here's the shed. There's a shed given to me, I think I said in a previous video, 8 by 12 ish, and then I put a new roof on it, and I put this front facade on it with a steel door. The stove actually goes inside. It's just sitting out here right now because I'm emptying out the shed, and it goes there in the corner. I got some brick down there. I have to take all that out. Like I said, new floor is going to go down here to insulate some of the floor. And I got fireboard on there, or cement board, whatever you want to call it, and the correct chimney and stuff. So eventually this whole place will be insulated. I got some car siding, some pre-finished car siding. I got 2 more windows to put in it. These windows are just what they call salesman's samples. Salesmen would take them to people's houses and show them what their windows would be like, so they're little ones, which is pretty cool because it works out excellent in this size of shed. So today's goal, as I said, is to I want to get the flooring in, or not the flooring, but the insulation and the plywood, and then I want to pop a vent into the back wall so I can put some air in behind the stove, wood stove, without having to open the windows. Depending on how cold it gets up here, I'd rather have the air going right at the stove instead of across me and then to the stove. And I'm going to raise these rafters up about 4 inches so I have some more headroom. I personally don't need it, but it'd be nice to have a little bit more headroom. Like I said, I have the white car siding for the sides, and I have corrugated galvanized steel, very well weathered, probably a good 60, 70, 80 years old, with some corrosion on it, that I'm going to put in the ceiling and on the cement board behind the stove. And then who knows what from there. So yeah, this is my Northwoods lot. And there's my shed that houses odds and ends, and my lawnmower for the time being. That'll be replaced, or at least moved, so I can have a nice entranceway to the shed. And then I'll put a little porch roof over the shed, probably about 6-8 feet out, so I have a place to sit if it's raining. But today, empty it out, get that floor in while I got daylight, burning daylight. Let's get a little bit more wood on that fire. So we have our inch of styrofoam insulation down, 3/4 inch, I think. It's glued down. Now for the plywood. Here the plywood is going in, is glued and screwed into place. So I have 3/4 inch plywood, 3/4 inch insulation, then 3/4 inch plywood again. Should be a good solid warm floor. So I came up a few snowy days later, and I decided I would put the 2 remaining windows in. I started with the side window. Had to empty the shed out, got the side window in, and then I started working on the back window. Everything went fairly smoothly that day. Well, I've got my second window in and framed out, and I have a hole for the third and final. Nice view of woods. So I got the remaining 2 windows in. So that's a good day. I got them in, caulked, and spray foam around the inside of the windows. And I also raised the ceiling up 3.5 inches. It may not seem like much, but when you're talking about a 8 by 12 shed, cabin, whatever you want to call it, that ends up being a lot. You know, I'm also going to put an awning on the front of it, probably galvanized corrugated steel, about 6 feet. The length of or the width of the shed and 6 feet, and then out to where those 2 pine trees are, just before it, I'm gonna level that out and put some patio blocks. So I got a nice place to sit if it's raining under there, if I need some shade. But that's today's progress.